goes. Well, good evening. My name is Jeremy Roth with McBride Homes. Very excited to be here tonight. With me, I have Jeannie Allmiller and Max Ladd from McBride Homes, in addition to Caleb Holman from Archer Oven, who's our design engineer. So we have a whole team here tonight, and we're here to present Silo Ridge, our project, and then answer any questions that the public might have or you might have. So thanks for having us. We've been working on this for a while, and I've been looking forward to tonight for quite some time. Just to start out, a little bit about McBride Homes. We're the largest builder in the St. Louis metro area. We're the largest builder in the state of Missouri. We build about 1,000 homes a year between Franklin County, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Charles County. And now we're expanding down 44 corridor a little bit. We're working on a project in Rolla, Missouri, that we're actually breaking ground on the site work this week. So we're excited about that. We're working on a project in Sullivan, and obviously Silo Ridge here in Cuba. And what we've really found is that there's a definite demand for new housing, not only in the city of Cuba, but and this isn't really just a local issue. This is nationwide. There's an affordability crisis in our country for housing. The cost of construction is higher than ever, and in a lot of areas there's an aging housing stack. And as young people grow up in a town or in an area, and they might want to stay in that area, they'll graduate from college and maybe looking to purchase that first home, or maybe they just got married and had that first kid, and there's just not the breadth of housing there for them, or the options there for them. And trends and demands have changed over the course of the last 20 years or so. People are really wanting those open floor plans, those walk-in closets, big kitchens, those modern amenities that are found in new housing, and not necessarily in that aging housing stock. So we're very interested in building in Cuba. We think there's a demand, and we've had our eye on some of these areas for quite some time. So this kind of happened, I'd say, close to a year ago. We started talking to Andy Stubblefield. He had a project on a good portion of this site that was more mixed use with some commercial, and we worked it out with him that we said, hey, we'll purchase the whole thing from you, and we'd love to do a master plan residential community with some amenities and with sidewalks and pedestrian connectivity, and really create that sustainable community, that sense of place for not only existing buyers and residents of Cuba, but those that are outside of Cuba. Maybe they work in Cuba, maybe they work in an industrial park or teach in the schools, and they drive into Cuba to work, and then they go back out to the county to live. And so we think there's definitely a demand, and we're super excited to be here tonight and present this project to you all. The property, we added some property to the project in addition to Andy Stubblefield's original project. So we're up to 117 acres of vanity grade property and a portion of the hillside property. So 117 acres. Like I said, it'll be a phased master plan community with multiple villages, and we think it's an excellent fit for the city here. So just to hit on some of the benefits that a development like this can bring to a community or to a city. Number one, obviously, the rooftops. So, the potential population growth. Like I said, people that maybe work in the city but live outside currently. Just growing that population can bring other types of businesses. Different amenities, different restaurants, different stores selling goods. And the old rule of thumb, or historical studies by the National Home Builders Association says for every house we build, we're going to create, I think it's 1.7 permanent jobs. Just because more people are here, you're going to need, more barber shops and more coffee shops and just The rooftops bring the other types of businesses, so it's job creation for the community itself. There's also an economic benefit during construction. So if you think about it, whether we're doing the site work or building, hopefully 10 to 20 houses at a time, once we get going, that's a lot of construction going on in Cuba at the time. So, those workforce, that workforce building, developing the site, building those homes, are going to eat lunch in town. They're going to fill up their trucks on their way to the job site or on their way home. So a lot of economic development while we're developing and building the site as well. And then the third benefit, I think, is the growth of infrastructure. I mean, we're going to be installing a lot of infrastructure on this site. And I know there's some goals to connect the water main, the water on along 44 that's on this property to the water in town. So more storm sewers, more sanitary sewers, expanding the electric grid. So a lot of infrastructure benefits as well to a development like this. So I kind of touched on the history of the project. We've been working on this, I think, close to a year. It transitioned from a mixed-use development to an all-residential development. We've had several conversations, meetings with the city staff, folks on the electric side of the city, sewer and water. So back in December, there was a public hearing on the annexation. The annexation itself took place in early January, and then at the end of January, we came and did this exact presentation before planning and zoning, answered a lot of questions. It was a great discussion, and we got a unanimous positive recommendation for planning and zoning. So now we're here at the next step in front of the board to ask for our rezoning and the approval of our preliminary plat. So that's what we're here tonight to ask for, so that all the property when it was annexed in is already R1, but we're asking for approval of this plan and then a planned district overlay. That enables us to cluster the homes, create a lot of common ground, and so here's the site. I should have started out with that, so I think hopefully everybody's familiar with it. So like I said, 117 acres, 44 up at the top here, ZZ Route 66 down here at the bottom, and then this is the site here. So our access points will have two entrances off ZZ and then one off McLeod Street back here in the back. So good access. And then this is the layout itself. So the site has 565 homes, and I want to emphasize that doesn't mean we start in a few months, there's going to be 565 homes there this summer. We will definitely phase this. It'll be a phased project, and this is a project that could take 7, 8, 9 years to build out. So we want to be a partner with the city here for a long time and to create this community. But that planned district overlay allows us to cluster the houses and create a lot of common ground. So we have over 20 acres of common ground, 21.5 acres of common ground. So that's 18% of the site that'll be common ground. That's governed, owned by the homeowners association. We will create a homeowners association. We have a declaration document that outlines the governance of that association. We would be a part of that association and help manage that association while we're building the community, and then we turn it over to the homeowners. There's different milestones to build out as we turn it over to the homeowners. But we set it up, get it running, start those assessments. Everybody will pay an assessment to the HOA, so the HOA will maintain all the common ground. So like I said, 18% of the site and common ground. So we have 3 different products, so 3 distinct villages that we're proposing, and these are product lines and houses that we built time and time again in a lot of our communities. So we have what we call the Arbor Series, the Bayside Series, and the Oakwood Series, and there's a lot of pictures down here of those 3 series. So those 3 series, different size of housing, slightly different square footage as you move up, different price point, obviously, but a lot of the same architecture. And each series probably has 7 or 8 floor plans, and then each one of those floor plans has multiple elevations. So the choices that our buyers have, almost unlimited when it comes to series, floor plan, elevation. You can see the nice variety here. And we let our buyers choose on what they want to invest in their home. So if a buyer really wants that brick elevation, they can choose that. If a buyer would rather go with a vinyl elevation or maybe a mix and spend their dollars more in their kitchen and upgrade their cabinets or upgrade their flooring, we believe in the power of choice, and a buyer can buy a really, really nice base home from us, or they can go to our design studio and pick out unlimited amount of options and upgrades and decide what they want to invest in their home. So yeah, a lot of, you can see the variety in elevations there. One of the other key features that we had when we laid out the site is we really wanted great connectivity. And I mentioned those 3 access points. So we have one here on ZZ, and a second one off ZZ here, and then a third off McLeod Street. And then internal, we have sidewalks throughout the community. And if you drive through any of our communities, you'll see people out walking. And like I said, we really want to create that sense of place, that sustainable community where neighbors can interact with each other, and you can go for a walk in the evening, and maybe you live in this village here, but your friends live over here, and you can walk to their house, hang out with them on their driveway, have a beer or whatever. So creating that connectivity, and really that pedestrian connectivity throughout the community is really important to us. And then we do have some amenities. And this is where the existing silo is. So up in this area, we may or may not save the silo. That is one of our goals, but we need to do some due diligence on structural integrity of it. But we are planning a playground, a really nice pavilion, and really just kind of a central amenity common ground area that residents can gather in. And whether it's a neighborhood party or somebody having a birthday party, they can use that as far as amenity. And like I said, we will definitely phase this. Our first phase, more than likely, will be up here along this access point, and that's just because the utilities are up here, the sanitary and the water up here. Obviously, we want to get access off Highway ZZ too, and ultimately have some model homes or some display homes here. But we might have to start back here because of the utilities, and then try to connect the dots as we go. So a couple things that came up at P&Z, there were questions on the street widths, because we are requesting 26-foot wide streets. That is the typical street width that we do in most of our communities. When we do that, we restrict parking on one side, and one of the conditions of the P&Z positive recommendation was to get letters from fire and police that they were okay with those street widths, street standards in this layout. And we did get those. We provided those to Laney, so the city has those. So everybody's comfortable. Cul-de-sac diameter, street widths, plenty of room to get emergency vehicles down, and the parking would be restricted on one side. One of the other things that came up during P&Z from a couple of the neighbors, so Holly Lane, if you're familiar with that, is right here. You can kind of see that on this aerial. So we have this entrance here to our community, and then Holly Lane is right here. So there was a little bit of concern over the proximity to those two entrances, and maybe the potential that this property would get developed sometime in the future. So one thing we did is when we incorporate this in our final design, we're going to provide a stub street to Holly Lane. So this is that entrance, this is Holly Lane, and we're going to provide a stub street. We're not connecting it today, but if at some point in the future further development happens, or the people that live down Holly Lane now would rather use this public entrance and street rather than this Holly Lane here, that they could connect to that in the future if they wanted to. And Mr. Lang spoke at P&Z, and that was one of his concerns, and I shared this with him last week. I know he's out of town, he couldn't be here tonight, but he was extremely pleased with this, and he's in favor of the development overall. He let me know that and said I could pass that along. So that's another change that we'll incorporate into our final design. And then the last thing, I already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. We did get a positive recommendation from planning and zoning. We had a great meeting that night, and we're here to ask for your approval tonight. I know tonight's the public hearing and the first step, and we'll come back for final passage. But with that, I'll wrap up, and we can answer any questions that the board might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do know we need the housing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will you be using any local providers for like lumber, concrete?
We would love to, and that's one thing. Like at Rala, we went out and sought out local contractors, not only for site work but also for construction of homes. So that is one of our goals, and we'd love to, and we'll welcome any and all bidders that would love to be interested in our work.
Okay. And the second thing, and I think I probably know the answers, but the infrastructure you spoke about, the electric and so forth. How much of that are you going to provide, or is that totally on the city?
So all the sewer, water, paving, storm sewer, we will be putting in. The city would be putting in electric and gas. I get that right?
And besides the police and the fire districts, how about school bus traffic? Will be going through in here? They can stop on easy and everybody. So did you contact the school?
We have not.
No,
we have not talked to the school district. A lot of times in developments like these, they might have a temporary location during construction just to avoid all the construction traffic. But more than likely, when this is all built out, they're going to come through here and pick up the kids in the subdivision. But we can confirm that for the school district.
That's all. Thank you.
All right.
Do you have any kind of timeline of if this was to be approved, when you start on phase one and how long it would take to connect to DZ?
Yeah, so I think we'd like to start site work this summer and be building houses, towards the end of this year in phase one. Obviously, the speed at which we go will depend a lot on the market and sales. But I would think hopefully in the first couple of years we're able to make this connection. And we might still, we're still in discussions internally, try to set up some sort of sales center here off ZZ, even though we start back here. So we definitely want to have a presence up here in ZZ.
Is it?
All right, thank you.
Oh,
I'll leave this
you
here.
come on up as soon as he gets done then, how's that?
Well, that's fine, it's questions are good.
Go ahead.
I do have a couple of questions.
Yep.
I heard the word HOA, and generally that goes hand in hand with a gated community. Is this going to be a gated community?
Nope, it's not a gated community.
Okay.
We really do gated communities, but we do have HOAs in all of
Okay.
our subdivisions.
Okay, very good. And the other question I have is what is your median home cost?
So,
Just, you mentioned affordability, I'd like to know what you're looking at.
yep. So affordability is key for us. We want buyers locally to be able to get into these houses. Still researching final costs, but there might be a sign that says from the 190s, but I would think average across all three villages. It'll be a range from probably the low 200s into the 4s. There could be some in the 5s. So average probably in the high 2s, low 3s.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
A lot of different price points across those villages and choices for buyers. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the one who's neighbor next to this property. My concern is people trespassing on my property. How are you gonna keep them off my property without them coming on and getting hurt, coming after me financially?
So, I know there's a lot of existing fencing around the property now. There's actually some pre-existing development obligations that we'll have to, comply with, and that's along Holly Lane, that we're required to install a fence along Holly Lane. So I don't know exactly where you're at.
I'm right next to your property. Right here's my property.
Okay.
So even though you put a fence here, they're gonna come off this sub-road, come down on my property. How are you gonna guarantee me that they won't do that?
Well, I can't guarantee that people won't trespass, but we do a lot of subdivisions, and this is a concern that we hear quite often. Hey, you're putting a lot of people in this area. Are they gonna come on my property? We rarely have ever had an issue with our residents trespassing on somebody else's property. And if they're trespassing, they're breaking the law, you can call the authorities.
But my concern is, as many times we call the cops, the county's gonna start complaining. Then who do I go to when the county starts coming on me because it's become a nuisance? Do I come back to you? Do I come back to the city?
Well, I mean, if somebody's breaking the law, it's gonna be the local authorities. But I'll say this, we do a lot of these types of developments.
Oh, I know.
We hear this concern quite a
Because I've
bit.
seen about your developments in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And you put your houses up very quickly. And I've heard good and bad about your houses.
We rarely have trespass issues where there's people from this community wandering on the adjacent properties.
Yeah, they may not get back to you, but it happens. I want to get guaranteed that somebody's going to be held accountable if it happens. Another thing I want to point out to the city, he's putting 565 homes on 117 acres. These houses are going to be so close, if one catches on fire, the houses next to them may have damage. Who's going to be responsible for those? Do you want that many houses that close that they're going to have damages to other houses? You need to take into consideration, yeah. A lot of houses, chances for this community to grow, but you gotta think about safety. Safety is a priority for a community to grow. If it's safe, people move here. If it's not, they're not going to. You need to think it back over money and because you get a bunch of houses. That's all.
Anybody else like to speak? Burnett, come on up.
Yeah, I'm Jim Barnett with TP Bank. I'm also on the Cuba Development Board. I know it's our feeling that this is going to be a big step forward for our community, really almost a transformational step. Our employers, and many of you know, from time to time they have trouble getting employees because there just isn't the housing. That's been an issue off and on for years. This is going to help that problem a great deal, and as I said, more people will be then moving to our communities. Secondly, it's a source for the community. You'll be selling utilities. It should be a good revenue source coming in as the project develops. Thirdly, our school is going to be receiving tax money. It certainly will help our school. And also, as was pointed out, retail development comes. And I know that's something we're very interested in, having more and better retail development. And better retail development also means more sales tax for the city. So I think there are really many benefits that are going to really help our town move forward. I feel this is a big step for us, and certainly any issues that other property owners might have, we certainly want to try to help them and address those issues. But I think globally this is a very nice step for us, a very, very big step. So I certainly encourage the city to move forward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Do we have a representative from planning and zoning here? I'm getting there, Annalee.
planning and zoning met, heard the proposal. We did have some questions, they were answered. It was a recommendation of the planning and zoning to send this to council. We approved, for the recommendation to the council to approve the proposed land overlay district as it is. It is a proposed plan. This is not the final plan. So we sent the recommendation to you to approve this proposed plan, so that we can move forward. There are still several steps that have to be taken. The agreement between the city and the contractor as far as who's responsible for what. And then the final plat and plan will be approved by by first planning and zoning and then sent to council for approval. So yes, we did approve this proposed plan, so that we can move forward with the final steps to approve the zoning request.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the plan overlay.
Actually, you're supposed to close your public hearing first.
What'd you say? Close the hearing first? All right, I'm gonna close the hearing now. And now, do I have a motion to approve the plan and
I'll
zoning?
make a motion that we approve the planning zone, per the plan zoning's recommendation for the planned overlay district.
Second.
Second? Let's take a roll call. All right, roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Marcella. Yes.
All right, approved. Thank you.
Once the agreement with the city has been worked out, then Lane will let us know, planning and zoning know, and we will schedule another meeting
Good.
to look at the final plat. I do have one thing to say
Yeah,
though.
go ahead.
And I want to remind the council of this. 565 homes is a lot of homes. A lot. And I know it's over an extended period of time. But the council needs to understand that at some point in time in the future, to accommodate 565 homes, there's going to have to be improvements made to our treatment plant and our electric grid, because the way it stands right now, we cannot handle that kind of influx into the city.
Yes, yeah.
That's me from a personal
I
standpoint.
talked to Steve, and he didn't think that affects the treatment plant too much.
I think it will.
I know you mean 500 homes is an awful
Yeah.
lot, I agree.
I think it probably will when it's all said and done, because not only is that development going to take place, but as he said, you will also have more businesses coming to town, more building happening. So it's a wonderful thing for Cuba. I am totally in favor of this, but it will be a big influx of a lot of building going on. So eventually it's gonna catch up with us.
Now, I may be jumping the gun, but do you have a recommendation for a planning and zoning, appointment?
Yes, I do.
And who?
Kelly Johnston would like to fill that position if we have open.
Yeah, I'll appoint her if we have the motion there. Do I have a motion?
Is it right now?
I need a motion to appoint, I need to roll call.
No, we can do a motion.
We good?
If that's what you wanna do.
We'll take a roll call. My appointment will be whatever we do, Kelly.
Kelly Johnston.
Okay, take a roll call.
Do your
I'll make a motion that we-
I need a motion, I think.
I'll make a motion to accept Kelly Johnson to the planning and zoning division.
Second? Second. Okay, take a roll call.
Marcella,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much, we're very excited, and, we'll look forward to the next step, so we appreciate it.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
All right, move on, citizen participation.
I will reach out to you guys about. Thank you.
Would anybody like to speak to citizen participation? Dan?
Thank you. For the record, Dan, it's my people drive. I am considering dabbling in beekeeping, and I'd like to know if any of you are familiar with any type of an ordinance that would restrict a small beekeeping deal in my backyard.
what?
Restrict the what now? I didn't hear that.
Beekeeping.
Beef.
Bees.
Do you know?
And I'm not talking about a very large deal at all. You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
I expect to be able to do some research on that just to make sure everybody is. I don't want to start something and have to shut it down, so. And just on a side note, working on Mr. Barnett's comments, being part of the workforce here in Cuba, I know what I can afford as far as housing goes in this town, and I know what I bought here in this town. And for the median cost of a $300,000 home, you're not gonna get a lot of guys in my class that are gonna be able to afford that. I absolutely agree that the need for housing for the people that work in these industries is necessary. It's gonna be a little high end. It really is. And I would expect the market to adjust. I mean, they're gonna come in expecting $300,000 and have to sell for $150,000. So I just wanted to make that comment, if it wasn't painfully obvious, that we're not a St. Louis community here, and, it's, thank you.
Anyone else to say, Kim?
Yes, for tourism, Don Fuchs was one of our members. He has resigned, and tourism would like to recommend Ryan Miser to fill that position, please.
I'll point that. Do I have a motion?
Mayor,
Hold
excuse me
on.
for interrupting, but I should have interrupted earlier planning and zoning commission, but you really need to put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
I didn't know about that, okay.
Publish notice of
We can do
that
that
making any
next
intention to
meeting.
appoint.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that next meeting then.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'd like to give a Oregon City report.
So hold on, we got you on here.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, no more citizens statement. Okay, do I have a motion for the regular minute meeting of February 2025? Motion to approve. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Again? Do I have a motion to approve the special minutes of February 21st, 25?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills to be paid. Do I have a motion for the bills to be paid?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes? Okay, now warming shelter update. Come on up, buddy, give it to us. Give your name, too.
For the record, my name is Greg Hubble. I'm a new person to the community, been here for just a couple of years. I was a volunteer at the Warming Center that we've had open 4 times this winter. On this the last time it was open, from February 16th to February 22nd, we had a total of 85 people come into the Warming Center to get food, supplies, to get out of the cold. On an average of people staying day and night, we had 12 to 15 people staying at a time, which we fed, 2 and 3 times a day. We had donations from a lot of the local businesses to help us, and I do want to commend the local businesses that did help supply food and supplies and things like that for these people to make sure that we didn't have any problems. And to the best of my knowledge and to records, we had 0 injuries, anybody hospitalized, or deaths in the city of Cuba for all 4 times that the Warming Center was opened up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Emergency Preparedness Director, this is where our attorney's gonna come in here. Can I appoint one tonight, or since it's a paid position, do I have to put it in the paper?
I think you're gonna need to go through your process, hiring process.
You only have to go through the process.
The paper?
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through the process.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know on that matter, because, he resigned with resignation, and so, do I have a motion to put in the paper, look for one?
Motion.
I'll second.
That one, do I have a second?
E-motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Again? Thank you. Electric Committee recommendations.
How long?
I'd like for Andy to come
you got for me?
Four Rivers, they're wanting, three-phase service. They are wanting 800 amp, 12208 three-phase service. There is no three-phase service by there, so we'll have to extend our electric lines for three-phase service, which we can do, but it's gonna be kind of costly. Total of supplies and materials that we're gonna use from our stock is gonna be $12,245. And talked to Jennifer about it a little bit. She said that basically can't project it, but I can, I'll have to buy it. When I do have to replace these materials, I would probably wait till the new budget for next year. But we eventually will have to replace.
What's our recoup on the 12?
Once they move people in, the keyword, once they move somebody in there, they're looking probably three or 4 year payback. So, I mean, fairly quick. Usually a city tries to do 10 years. But the cost of transformers recently, how high they are, I think some cities have went to 15 years for payback. But usually real time's 10.
We have a motion, we have a second?
You're saying they will pay back, or you're just saying pay back to utility rates?
Through what we use to get them service, it should take, once they move somebody in, it would be 3 or 4 years. Through our electric bills alone.
Is this route you recommend going?
Yeah, I do. I need approval to start it because I can't use $12,000 worth of shop material to actually get approval.
I have a motion, second. All in favor? Yes? Anything else?
I should be on the agenda for one more thing. I should be on the agenda for one more thing, so while I'm here, I will get to it.
Go ahead.
Transformers.
Yeah, I see the transformer business.
Yep. That would be transformers.
Oh, I got them?
Yep.
You do.
These transformers are for, Solo, I'm gonna call it Solo gas station. It's a Solo liquor place across from the truck stop. They're turning into a gas station. They're seeking, also 800 amp service, 1.208. We do not have the transformers. We do, sorry, but we'll be out of transformers if we use them. So I'm suggesting that we buy 3 transformers for the service. And I suggest Sunbelt Solomon. They're the cheaper one by far.
Is there a reason they're cheaper?
Huh?
Quality wise, is there a reason?
Not Sunbelt Solomon's good one.
No.
They emailed me a while back saying they've gotten more stock on some stuff and they've come down on some of the pricing.
Make a motion to accept the transformer bid from Sunbelt Solomon.
I'll second that.
Alright, all in favor? Yes?
And also, I think I can ask this now, I'm not too sure, but since the zoning, since you guys approved the plain zoning, is it okay if I go out for bids for electrical engineer? I have to ask you guys.
I don't have a problem with it.
If
Y'all have a problem?
If I can, I don't know if it's too early or not.
I think it might be a little early in the process, and I know we have some meetings we need to have with McBride concerning the development agreement and some other aspects of that, so it might be just a little premature to do that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Alright. Street department label for this one. Bill?
Yeah, we had, Jeremy Miles, who's been on my department before. Jeremy Copeland signed to come back to my department. He knows there's a pay decrease to start to the starting salary, he's okay with that. So, I would like to hire him.
Our hearing here?
Jeremy Copeland.
Got a motion? Motion first. Do I have a second, or do you want to discuss it?
I mean, there really no discussion. I know which ones.
They did say that he was gonna stay there till Friday if we decided to do this. They wanted to keep him till Friday.
He transferred out to go to natural gas, now he's transferring back out to natural gas, go back to the street department, right?
He's already licensed, he's been there, he was there on our department for a year, so.
Yeah, we have a motion, do I have a second?
We have a second.
Second? All in favor? Yeah. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, we got the natural gas committee recommendations.
So, natural gas committee met last week, and, we're hurting the natural gas department, there ain't no like it. So,
We are, we
now
are.
we're down to.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, now we're down to a supervisor and a laborer, but we're also hurting other areas, so I'm gonna make many motions here. The first one's going to be to change the natural gas meter rate from the current $1.10 per 100 cubic feet to $1.35 per 100 cubic feet, or this was phrased properly, 0.135 per cubic foot.
Are you doing away with tiers or meter?
I didn't know if we need to do multiple motions.
Huh?
Multiple motions, I assume, in there. So one at a time.
So my understanding is 0.15 for natural gas. per cubic foot.
135 per cubic foot.
And truthfully, that's where it should have been at. I don't know what happened, but we've been charging 110. So,
Yeah.
all right, I have a motion for this.
That's my motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, let's do a roll call.
Hurtville. Yes. Martin. Yes. Hudson.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Tony?
Alright. So the next recommendation from the committee meeting was to remove the tier rate table from the billing of the natural gas. So I'm gonna make a motion that we remove this tier rate table.
Okay, got a motion, I have a second.
Can you,
Go ahead, want to discuss it?
yeah, can you expound on what that entails?
It just changes the rate structure based upon how much cubic feet you consume.
So it's gonna be this all across the board
It's
then?
gonna be straight across the board at the $1.35, yes.
So currently, is it set up where a resident such as myself would be 1.35, but more, the
You
more
would
you
never,
use, the less you get?
you would never reach the consumption.
I know, but what I'm saying is does it go up or down? For people who use more?
It goes down. Essentially, it's like a volume discount.
We have first and second on that?
I'm going first.
Okay, I have a second.
Second.
Do the roll call.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Hurtville. Yes.
All right, moving on to park recommendation, committee recommendation.
No, we're not done.
Hmm?
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's actually two more.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. That's right.
So currently we have a minimum rate charge of $7 per month. It's been recommended that we move that to a monthly meter charge of $7. It's just to clarify, it's just to simplify billing. It's really all it does. It doesn't change a whole lot.
Make a motion. Second.
Oh,
Roll call.
Hurtville. Yes. Martin.
And that poses no increase to the consumer?
not on their, it's basically $7 a month we pay right now, minimums every month. It
Yes.
just changes the verbiage on it.
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One more?
Well, I would like to say we need to go out for gas labor. So,
We do?
write in the paper and all
Wanna run it in-house and out-house, or
the, I think we need to write it everywhere, yeah.
how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah, let's see, you can get in the paper.
So it would not even be until 13.
Yeah.
So 13 to 20th. And then it would be, we discussed it.
That's my motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes? Anything else?
I would really just like to plant a bug in everybody's ear that we really need to increase that department to a 4-man at some point. I mean, need to have a supervisor and 3 laborers, so just something to think about.
All right, we're on Park and Recreation Committee recommendations. Do you again, Tony?
I don't really have any recommendations at this time. Debbie, do you have anything you want to add?
Do you want to mention the pool manager, or we good with that?
I mean, we can.
I think that, I wasn't there, but I believe Tony discussed with the park board, continuing, with Beth Dawson as the pool manager for the coming swim season. And that would allow her to start looking for some guards at this point in time, so that we're not in May scrambling to find guards and swimsuits and all the stuff that goes along with that. So I think the recommendation is that we continue her employment.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Dan, do you have anything else?
Oh,
Well,
I mean, I read through your minutes, I didn't really see.
not on that particular deal, but I was kind of curious where we're sitting with the survey for the engineering for Tangle Creek. Is that in motion? Or
Yes.
has that even been brought up?
It's on the agenda for the ordinance to.
Very good, thank you.
oh, that first and second, right? All in favor? Yes? All right, we got the Water Department agreement with Finn Drilling Company. That's just a contract for whatever we've had. Yeah, just to renew it, right?
Yes,
Sign
it is going to
paper.
renew this, yes, it's a 3-year, maintenance agreement.
Yeah, just a maintenance agreement we've had for years.
So it's $350 per year.
I got a motion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Yes? Police committee recommendation.
Recommendation?
Give us all, 100 of them.
I think that's on my thing is, patrol vehicles that are on the list.
That's next, he's asking for your recommendation.
Oh, what, recommendation of what?
Your police committee meeting.
Mine's probably.
I thought that was the part of it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, we had a meeting. Where'd it go? We had the meeting, and, myself and, Jeff were the only ones that showed up for the meeting. There's other people in attendance and stuff like that. There was discussion of the east side of Green Street for 2-hour parking, but they declined to, business people decided declined, for their wish for 2-hour parking because of it wasn't benefiting them. So there was discussion of 3-hour parking for Washington from Hickory Street to Green Street on 66 for 3-hour parking. That would be right in front of the post office and in front of the hair salon. Just 3-hour parking there. So there was other discussions for the 66 returns for angled parking, and speaking with street department, Mr. Dodson, that would be all on the business owner and stuff like that. If he wanted to put his angled parking up there, as long as the sidewalks, people were still able to maintain a walkway in front of the building and back to the sidewalks again, which I believe there was enough room. We took a look at it, and there was. So the only recommendation that we really have for that is the 3-hour parking in front of the post office from Hickory to Green Street. That's my recommendation.
All right, do we have a motion? Or recommendation?
You want to put the sign says 3-hour?
3-hour parking.
Yep, Bill has them.
The only signs I do have though is 3-hour parking from 8 AM to 4 PM. I've got those in stock, I've got 2 of them. If we do anything any different than that, then we'll have to have somebody special.
I think that
8 to 4 should be.
I think 8 to 4 is as good as business hours, so I think.
Is that just on the one side of the street?
Yeah, that's just in front of on the north side of 66. front of the post office all the way to in front of the hair salon.
I mean, I don't care, but is that really a problem for people to park? I know they park on this street and they park on that street, but.
Well, when there was the discussion of the 2-hour parking, and Abelia would have clients there. She didn't want us to enforce her client parking, but then when their clients were parking there, people would park up there in front of her building for long. So it was said that was longer than 3 hours. So
Is this supposed to help with the Green Street issue?
no, I have no idea. No.
So that we're gonna have people parking 3 hours right in front of this office.
Don't park in front of the post office. I don't think anybody does.
They don't know that, that's why, that was the crux of the question.
Here's what we run into. We're trying to appease public parking for businesses with no parking lots. It's just street parking. We're trying to do our best to appease them, and if it doesn't fit in their left hand, they want it in their right hand. So it's like I don't know how to make it better. I can't make parking spots where there's no parking spots.
But they were okay with this? With the 3 hour?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need a motion
Makes
for it?
clear as mud. Put up some
Do you have
signs.
something to add?
Well,
If there's a shortage of parking, why don't we put parking back on Green Street?
because there's too many, okay, I've already discussed this with you a million times here. All the entrances for Hilke, if we allowed parking there, it only gained you 2 parking spots. That's why it's just easier to put no parking. And I've discussed this and discussed this and discussed it. I've had meetings. I'm not changing my recommendation for parking on Green Street. End of story. If the council would like to change that, do it without my recommendation. That's it.
There's actually 4 spots there, because half the building he got belong to Hilke's, but it's fine. So, and it hurts her business as well. And I've got to park this big old box truck up on Washington Street. I saw someone almost got hit today. Because someone pulled out of Tree Street. So I need that parking on Green Street. Hilke's can just drive around like they did for the last 2.5 years before I bought the place. That's my recommendation, and I would like for the city to do something about this.
Well, I'm gonna go look at Green Street tomorrow and see if we can do anything. But right now, I'm taking his recommendation for 3 hours. Do I hear a motion for 3 hour parking recommendation? So y'all wanna hold off?
I mean, I just don't see that the 3 hours going to achieve anything for the issues in that part of town. I know we're just grasping at straws here trying to achieve something, but we might be better just leave it alone, so I don't know. I like your angle ideas, your angle parking ideas.
Yeah, well, for the angle in front of him, I know there's a section of grass here. I don't know if you put rock in front of that or not to make it easy, but we did discuss it, that it would be on him to put lines up there and parking stops, parking blocks, what we call them.
I tried parking there Friday, and I got harassed by a Cuba police officer Davis, that I can't park on the sidewalk, because it's legal to park on the sidewalk in the state of Missouri.
That's because we don't have an ordinance for that yet. You have to give us some time.
Well,
Until you put the stops up there and they make it into an ordinance form that allows that, then yeah, you can.
And so they're backing out onto Washington Street.
yeah, that's a horrible idea.
Then no illegal parking there. That's I don't care. That's no problem for me either. I know other businesses on 66 do park back out to 66.
I guess if you don't want to do that, don't park there.
Right. I mean, I can't fix public parking for businesses with no parking lots. There's no fix for it.
Well, we want to motion at 3 hours, we want to table this.
Personally, it sounds like it's going to need to be looked at more. Not saying you guys ain't looked at enough. I'm just saying I don't have enough to make it happen.
I'm gonna table this. Nobody wants to make a motion?
I made a motion to
Oh, we got a motion?
wondering,
Alright.
but
Do I have a
you
second?
guys don't think that's, did you say that made them happy? 3 hours?
At that meeting, they were okay with 3 hour, with 3 hours in front of that, but that was more, a solution brought, that was, that Jeff Dowse, came up with, and I just agreed with it.
You disagree?
I would just hate to see us do this down next month, you do it again, and not
Or
that
a portion
good.
that you would.
That 3 hour parking, it's just a block in front of the post office, and in front of the hair salon.
There's just.
I don't know that anybody is really there much longer than that. The only people that would be there longer would actually hurt the business, I would think, if they are there longer. But back to my original statement I have made, we don't have officers that enforce 2 hour parking, or 3 hour parking, or 3.5 hour parking. I mean, we don't have officers that actually enforce that. If there's a complaint for somebody, my officers would see that there is a vehicle there. Okay, yeah, it's been there too long. We would put a sticker on there that has been there for too long. But we don't have parking people that chart wheels and then go back and check to make sure that they have moved or not moved. We don't have manpower for that.
So you favor that 3 hour parking or not? Yes or no?
If it made some people happy, yes.
I know.
But will it help? I don't believe so, but.
I don't think it'll help, but hey, we can try it. But we tried it.
But we're making an ordinance.
It's a lot of work if you're gonna change it.
Yeah, if we're just gonna change it again.
Well, why don't we table it and look at it again?
There you go.
Let's table it. You go. Okay? Thank you. Anything else?
Well, is it my turn?
Yeah, you get your nuisance down.
Let's just keep
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about parking. I had a meeting with Robert Jackson's.
No.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a meeting with Robert Jepson's. They want 2 hour parking along the east side of Hickory from Washington to Spencer. They're having issues with all day people working at the post office because they have to leave their parking lot open for customers, I guess. All the workers are parking along Robert Judson's, and they have 0 parking for their customers. But they would like to have 2 hour parking alongside the road. Again, I explained to them, I don't have people that sit there, the manpower to enforce 2 hour parking. We do have 2 hour parking somewhere else in town, and, you know, they think it'd just be help with a deterrent. And they would also like a handicap parking for the very first spot to be handicapped and posted, painted for handicap and a posted sign. So then, if the council wants to put 2 hour parking between here, again, I don't have manpower to monitor 2 hour parking.
Could I ask, have you spoken to the people at the post office? Because it is a problem, there's no doubt about it, that street is a problem.
But it's still, again,
But they do have some options.
right.
Have you spoken with them about maybe going on down the street?
Not yet. Right now, but it's not my job to find their workers places to park. So, if there's public parking, and it is right now alongside Robert Judson's, first come, first served for public parking inside city limits on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Now, once we make the orders and put the signs up, once we put the signs up, and if the council so wishes, they're gonna say, well, where's our first people supposed to work? I can give them a recognition. They can park right down there, they can park around the block on Spencer. There's all kinds of parking out on Main Street. I mean, they have to walk a block. But, you know, when it's cold, nobody really wants to walk. But I can just kind of help guide them that way, but I can't ask them to go park there now and not park.
I'm not asking you to ask, I'm just I'm asking if you have spoken to them about the problem. And
I have once before, it's been a while
offered
back.
some possible solutions or areas that you know are available.
I've talked to them once before, a while back, but it's just, I can't, they're not doing anything illegal.
So, I'm gonna ask what your recommendation is. You wanna table it and look in this, or just?
Now, put 2 hour parking out there.
Huh?
Put 2 hour parking limit up there. Put it in the ordinance form. Vote on it. It's my recommendation. Let's make them all mad.
I'll tell you what,
Well, I think we need to be a little more mature and serious about this. I know you think it's funny.
It's
but it is a
frustrating.
problem.
I can
get
laugh
it.
all I want, and it's frustrating.
I get it, we're frustrated too, and the businesses are frustrated too, but it is a problem.
Right.
It is an issue. And, you know, we can't just laugh it away.
Yeah, well, we can table it again, I mean, but that's not solving the issue.
No, it doesn't. But I think we need to at least.
Well, I don't think I'm being immature about it at all, I'm telling you, I'm frustrated, I've had it up to here talking about parking spaces that aren't there for hundreds of cars that we have 20 parking spots for. I don't know where it comes down that I have to fix this.
I fear if we put 2-hour parking on Hickory, the postal employees have to have a place to park, we know that. I fear they're gonna wind up on Room Street, because that's gonna be the closest next neighbor.
There. And
I don't know.
then we'll be putting 2-hour parking there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a vicious cycle we can't get away from. I mean, it's not immature, but it's definitely laughable.
Have you ever thought about putting up parking meters or anything?
Well, does the city want to have the cost of those, and who's going to empty those things, and who's going to take? I don't know how parking meters work. We've never had those in the city before that I know of.
you know what, I'm gonna table it. I'm gonna go talk to a few people on Hickory Street and stuff,
Alright.
okay? I'm gonna table this for now.
Alright.
Sounds good, Kevin.
Alright, moving, got anything else, Doug?
I think the other thing on the agenda was patrol cars that need to be sold. Does that need to be approved? Go ahead.
Yes.
They're last year's cars we
You have
can hold on to.
2 cars for surplus. The only thing is Ron did not put if there's like a minimum bid. Do you know that?
He didn't. Normally we have one.
I understand that, but there is not one on here.
Okay. I will get with them and we'll find a minimum bid.
So wait until,
Yeah. Does it need to be, so does that need to be tabled as well till there is a minimum bid?
Yeah, we'll table no bids, yeah.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, just tell Randy that it is, if they agree to just sell the vehicles.
Okay.
All right,
Anything else,
that's
Doug?
one more.
Thanks, Doug. All right, bill number 2165, do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
That's first reading, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, okay, hey, I'm gonna screw this up.
I know technical this time. I don't let you guys know. She's
Okay.
going to read it off for us.
First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into an agreement with Williams Robinson Wiggins PC for legal services.
Going to approve the first reading,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Second.
No.
Yeah, that's a second.
It says roll call.
Oh, yeah, roll call. Hey, I'm gonna mess this up, but I'll get it right here shortly.
Pretzel,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Halbert.
Yes.
I do have a second motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into an agreement with Williams Robinson Wiggins PC for legal services.
All right, I think I got this right. Roll call? All right, hold on. I'll get a motion to approve the second reading.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, right?
Hudson,
Yes.
or I'm sorry, Halbert.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm Zona. Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Pretzel.
Yes.
All right, bill number 2165 comes to us at 9:30. Bill number 2166, have a motion for first reading?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is second.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into an agreement with CM Archer Group PC for engineering services for improvements to Tangle Creek Park.
Going to approve the first reading?
Make a motion to approve the first reading?
Second.
All in favor? Roll call. Roll call.
Hartzell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Halbert.
Yes.
What's that?
Motion for the second reading.
That's covered?
Second.
This is the second reading, so we have a motion for the first.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, motion for the second reading, we already did that, right?
I need a second.
What?
Second.
I can't hear. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we did the second.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri on behalf of said city to enter into an agreement with CM Archer Group PC for engineering services for improvements to Tangle Creek Park.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the second reading?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call? Yes.
Halbert,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Bill number 2166 becomes special ordinance 931.
Hey, there's a page 2 to that.
What? All right, bill number 2167. Have a motion to approve the first reading.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Okay. You read?
Resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Clean State Revolving Fund Program for an engineering services grant under the Missouri Clean Water Law, Chapter 644, RISMO.
A motion to approve the first reading. All in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call. I'm getting out of this. Never roll call.
Hartzell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Halbert.
Yes.
All right, that
This
motion
is
is-
a resolution, there's only one reading.
Okay, Bill? All right, bill number 2167 becomes resolution number .03
Did we give you
.04, whatever that means.
A resolution only requires one reading.
Okay. Old and unfinished business. Joyce? Debbie?
No.
I would like to clarify the emergency preparedness director, how long do we wanna run that in the paper?
Couple weeks.
So same amount of time we're on the gas?
Huh?
Same amount of time we're on for the gas thing?
I think couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That all?
Yeah, that's all.
Harold, you have anything?
Yeah, I've got a note here from Kim Rodemeyer. She has made the announcement that she'd like to resign from the tourism committee. So my recommendation is to accept that resignation.
Okay, do I have a second?
Is that
All in favor?
correct? That's not what the note says.
Yeah, but that's for Don Hughes.
Oh.
Don Hughes.
Don Hughes.
And we already said that we had to wait on that.
Do I have a second to accept this?
No, because that's not correct.
Oh, okay, not correct,
That's
right?
not correct, so
Okay.
we're done.
Okay. Harold, anything else?
No.
Lane?
Oh, I got one other thing. Is there an ordinance in the city of Cuba, any residents living in Cuba having a pit bull dog? Is there an ordinance
No. There is no ordinance, there's, you're allowed 3 animals in the city of Cuba, but there is no, breed ban.
My son is wanting to move to Cuba and he has a pit bull.
He can have it,
It is tame as a baby.
he can have it.
It doesn't go outside unless it goes on a leash.
Yeah, you just can't have more than 3 animals, is what the ordinance says, but there's no pit bull ban.
It is spayed and everything, so
No pit bull ban.
that's all I have.
All right, Lane, you have anything?
In your packets, I had something for look over it for the next meeting, I'll put it on there to see if you guys want to extend their contracts. That's it.
Yeah. All right, I have nothing at this time. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
What?
Do we adjourn first?
We're not completely done yet, so.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Roll call, okay.
Hertzell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.